Good morning. Welcome to Good News York. It is Monday, and I'm feeling like I got a case of the Mondays. I had a very long weekend, but I'm being uplifted as I speak because I'm here with a very special guest that I personally invited on the show in person because I was so moved by his interview on Sean Kelsey's podcast, Phoenix Rising, excuse me. Is it Phoenix Rising or Rising Phoenix? Phoenix Rising. I always get that mixed up, which is one of our great clients here at Growth Mode Content. I'd like to welcome to the show, to Good News York, Mr. Mike Catalano.
Hey, guys, thanks for having me.
It's only one person clapping. Yeah, so Mike, I'm so glad to have you. Again, it is Good News York, sponsored by Ads on the Go, getadsonthego.com. Mike, you're the first guest that I've just booked on the spot. You know, it was, you did this great episode of Sean Kelsey's podcast, like I just mentioned. And you really moved me with your story and, you know, your journey. And when you got up and, like, we hugged, you know, we immediately connected. And, you know, you were like, I'd love to come on the show sometime. I was like, you know what? Pulled out the calendar and we put it on the books. And it's for a good reason. Back Nine Barbershop is your barbershop, which, if we can look at that hat, that is sexy, my friend.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying that. Like, that is a very sexy logo. And Back Nine Barbershop is your bread and butter. It is your passion right now. But getting there was quite a journey. So I would love for you, if you're comfortable, just talk about how this all came about.
Well, you know, it started out with my passion for golf mixed with haircutting, and actually even more so before that. My father is a PGA professional, member of the GNY section.
Hell yes.
My mother is a retired hairdresser / bus driver. So
you're like the perfect hybrid of your parents.
Nobody saw this coming. I certainly didn't see this coming. I thought I'd be teeing it up with, you know, Scotty Scheffler Thursdays through Sundays, you know, trying to, you know, make a good buck out there, grinding it out on the golf course. However, things shifted, and we adapt, and we keep moving on. And, you know, I started out with, for probably about the first 2/3 of my life in the golf industry. Big pronounced name in the area. And then, you know, as you were saying, you know, the journey, I fell down, I collapsed, I hit rock bottom, and struggled and clawed my way to get back up to where I am today. And that's, you know, providing top-notch grooming in Cicero, New York for people that, you know, need haircuts.
Mike, it's an amazing story because, you know, this show started, you know, Matt started the show on, you know, you open social media, you know, you turn on the news, and it's just, it's deaths and fire and fighting and just every negative thing you can think of, you can find. So it was like, you know, let's start a show where we can highlight things in New York, all over New York State, that are uplifting, cool, awesome, funny, you know, businesses, people, and you embody that because of your story. And the great thing about hitting rock bottom, as you said, is that there's only one way to go when you hit rock bottom, in my opinion. You can just lay down and die there, or you can push yourself. The good news is there's only, or you can go up, right? And you chose to go up. Before we get into that, let's talk about your golf career, though, because, I mean, you know, we all golf around here. Everybody here is like, I'm a golfer, you know. I want to be great, you know. I golf all the time. I have such a passion to be great. I'm not, you know. It's a very tough sport, and a lot of it's between the ears, right? It's a very mental, cerebral sport. How did you start golfing? When did you start golfing? And talk a little bit about how that career came about, because you were on your way to pro status, would you say?
Yeah, I would say tour professional. There's several different listings of a Class A golf professional. I think you got people that all the way from doing news articles in the Post Standard,
sure,
to teaching pros, to touring professionals. And that was what I was trying to inspire to be. And I started out when I was 1 year old. As soon as I could walk, my dad threw a golf club in my hand.
Yeah.
I think everybody can remember those plastic Fisher Price sets of clubs.
For sure.
I'd be sitting there ripping golf balls around the yard, and I had my own little holes laid out in the backyard. I would just do that for hours. Literally, give me my golf clubs, leave me alone. Mikey's going to be good.
At that age, you loved it.
At that age, as soon as I could walk, man, that was it. And we started out, as far as I can remember, at Rogues Roost. My dad was a very pronoun golf pro in the area, sponsored by FaZe.
Mm-hmm.
Remember FaZe?
Dude, Matt was here. Matt is obsessed with FaZe. He's from Ilion. He's got a FaZe sweatshirt.
Love that.
Let me tell you, dude, it is fire. Not as fire as your hat, but it is fire. Love me some FaZe.
And, we started out there. I remember one year over the summertime of school, I was at the golf course every single day. And then this is where I really kind of noticed I was gaining traction, but without really noticing what was going on. All I did was just sat there, got bored, hit 300 golf balls, go take a nap on my dad's golf cart, watch him teach a lesson, go hit another 300, go pick up golf balls, hit another 300. This is that was my life every single day. For the course of the summer, I was probably 7 years old. That was about my daily routine. Hit about 1,000 golf balls a day, watch him teach, and, learn how to hit bunker shots. That's self-taught. So there you go. Everything else, though, was old school drills, kind of like Rocky Balboa in the just hitting stuff, the vintage way. And that's how I
sit-ups in a barn.
Yeah, we're sitting there. We don't need any big crazy equipment.
You're no Ivan Drago. You're no Ivan Drago. You are Rocky, my friend.
I love that. And the first time I started to break 45, I was 7 years old from the Red Tees.
Are you serious? God damn you.
So, and from there, I want to say the first tournament I won right in your backyard at Cornell Golf Club.
Yeah.
And I shot 38. It was the 10 and under, I believe, or the 11 and under. And I knew I was like 9. So I knew I was playing against some of the older kids, and I smoked them. And, or at least I thought I did.
Sure.
So, and from there, it was getting to the junior tournament level. Probably my best junior finish was called the Williamson Cup. It's where the top 6 players in each section, 4 players play 2 alternates from Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse, and all around the Northeast gather. So you got like 80, 90 golfers, and they all go after trying to win this Williamson Cup. And I was at the Country Club of Detroit. I shot 73 in my first round, and I'm like 3 shots back. So I'm fired up, swings clicking on all cylinders. I have all the confidence in the world. And it was 36 holes one day. I sit there and I start out birdie, birdie, birdie on my second 18.
Beautiful.
And I'm fired up. End up, obviously just like, have a couple bogeys, couple pars down the stretch. End up shooting 1 under 71, 73, 71. Come in third place. Mm-hmm. They announced first place, second place. They didn't announce third. I will never forget that moment.
Why didn't they do that?
I don't know. I guess if you're not first or second, then nothing else matters. So I learned a valuable lesson right there. Win or don't be noticed.
That's actually a great mindset, though.
So, right? And that really catapulted me to just take my already sharpened game to another level.
Wow.
And, from there, we went on to high school, had a great high school career, won many sectionals with a great team of guys. Moved on to Florida. Tried to do the minor league tour. And I'll tell you what I learned about that is no matter how good you think you are, holy smokes, man, there's always somebody better than you. I would go out there and shoot 2-3 under and get annihilated. I'd shoot 68, 69, and these dudes are shooting 63s, 64s, and so then they call you a trunk slammer.
Trunk slammer. I've never heard that one.
Didn't make the cut. You go home, slamming your trunk, keep it moving.
Oh man, that's a good one.
So I did the whole Florida thing for a winter. Ended up missing home.
Yeah.
Then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to college, and I went to Monroe Community College out in Rochester.
That's actually a fantastic community college.
Love
it's like nationally ranked. It's a fantastic community.
They no longer have golf.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what they did there. They stripped their whole athletic program. I think baseball was their big bread and butter. I could be mistaken. Yeah. I think they still have baseball, but I could be wrong. They might have gotten rid of baseball too.
I don't know. I know they did have baseball. I definitely remember them being on the map because I'm originally from Herkimer, so HCCC, Monroe, they played each other in a lot of things. But man, I got to tell you, so there's a million things going through my head. One is, that is wildly impressive because for people that don't golf, you don't understand that. Yes, it does take some athletic ability, but it also takes so much mental discipline. It is such a mental game, and I'm a mental case, and I think that's why I can't get over the hump and break. I think I shot a 45 once, but I'm in like the 47, 48, and at like 55 on 9 holes, and I just, but in that I also realized, at some point I went, why am I getting mad that I can't golf very well? I golf a dozen times a season. You were out there at however old you said you were 7 years old, hitting 300 balls a day. And anybody 1,000 balls a day. and people hear that and think it's a cliche, like you got to hit like 1,000 balls a day. But you really do. And all the greats that you look up to, you hear those stories and you were living that. And it's wildly impressive to me that you were able to not only get as good as you have gotten, but to compete at such a high level. I've always said that, like, if you want to take golf to the next level and you really want to, maybe if you don't even want to go pro, but you want to get really good.
Sure.
Do you think, like, for golfers that are listening or watching, do you think you have to move down south where you can golf year round? Because it's tough around here, right? You get 3, 4 months, 5 months.
If you're a young junior golfer, and you really want to further your career in golf, the easy answer to that is yes.
Yeah.
Jeff Sluman, is Mike Weir. Well, Mike Weir's Canadian, but he also played.
Love Mike Weir.
I'm pretty sure he played at Skinny Atlas Golf Club. But Jeff Sluman went to Monroe Community College.
No shit.
Wayne Levy. Shout out Wayne Levy. Those are like, a few of the names that from this area, upstate New York, have made it. But it's not easy for them.
It's not. There's a guy from Syracuse on the tour who a couple weeks ago, one of the tournaments was in the top. He was in the running. He almost won it. Like on day 3, he was climbing the ranks. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but
I'm jealous.
I wish I had wrote it down. But you're right. It's not like it's impossible. But like you said, if you want to put in the work year round, weather wise, now you can do things like indoor and stuff like that. But yeah, I think
Kyle Roy.
That's him.
Shout out Kyle Roy.
That's him.
Kevin Roy. The brothers. I'm so sorry, the Roy brothers, if we're getting you mixed up right now.
Yeah.
I played junior golf with these guys.
See, I had a feeling you did. I had a feeling, you know.
Jim Roy, their father.
Yes.
Had a great career as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
He made it there. I didn't. He had a great senior tour run. Kevin Roy I believe he started down in the South American tour. Started lighting it up there. Dude, he's playing great golf, man.
Yeah.
I really, honestly, I'm happy for him.
He is playing great golf.
I really hope I get to see him. I know he's over at Timber Banks every once in a while. I am possibly interested in, maybe getting over there and calling that a home now.
Absolutely.
Moving forward.
It's a great course. We were there for the NFL alumni tournament with David's Refuge. I shot an episode there. What a course.
Love the course.
Holy hell.
It's, my best round there, 71 from the tips. Man, dude, the par threes there alone. Everyone's always talking about the greens, and then my answer is, well, hit it in the right quadrant,
right?
But easier said than done, right? Sure. And then we all face the times where you sit there, you overclub, you underclub, you got a 40-foot putt, and they're hard.
Yeah,
that is a great chess match for 4 or 5 hours on that golf course. I love it.
I got to ask you this because I have such a passion for golf. I don't know why. I could get out in front of 70,000 people and perform comedy or a song and be fine. But when I'm on the golf course, I am when I get up for my approach, I am so terrified of this little fucking ball, dude. And then sometimes I'm fine, and then sometimes I'm doing okay, keep your arms straight, remember your tempo. What is your approach to when you're getting up to address the ball? How do you quiet your mind? Do you quiet your mind? Do you have a routine?
I'm glad you just said that. I was going to say routine.
Yeah.
You need to practice your routine. For that 7 to 10 seconds pre-shot routine, during the shot and post-shot, that routine It just locks you in, quiets out all the noise around you. My dad used to jingle keys, ask me questions like, what's 2 + 2? Something that I know the answer, but I can't answer until after I struck the shot.
That was the rule?
That was the rule. He would try to get me off my game, and I loved it, honestly. People driving by, honking their horns, yelling, hey, 4! You know what I mean? It never bothered me.
See, that's my
I'm locked in.
Dude, if I hear a mouse fart in the woods, I will shank it 50 feet. I'm so, like, hypersensitive to that stuff. So you're saying get in a routine.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a routine to shut your mind off, but what you're saying is if you get in a routine, it will shut your mind off?
Yeah, you are now bought all in on your routine. I get behind the golf ball. I line it up. Something in the distance. Could be a top of a tree, cloud, whatever. Whatever I'm marking to aim at, get behind it. Get ready. Boom. Everything else goes blank. Now I'm just locked into that shot, dialed in 100%.
You're never thinking about, okay, tempo, any of that stuff. You're just going to swing. You're going to swing free?
It'll be like a deep breath.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, whatever confident mind thought you could have, or for instance, I was just playing in a charity event for the rescue mission at Skinny Atlas with Sean. And it's a great show there. And I was playing so tense from the stress of opening the business and, you know, trying to maintain all our clients, keep them happy. And I'm just like, and I just had to just try to find my woosah out there.
Yes.
And you can't play golf tense.
No.
You can't play golf if your mind's racing. Once you're out there, it's you, the grass, the ball, the elements. Nothing else matters for those 4 or 5 hours. And then I know, as cliche as it sounds, shot by shot, one shot at a time. That's it.
It is it. It has to be it, you know? And I've heard, you know, in sports psychology and in pro sports, you know, in football, you hear it a lot. They preach like, whatever just happened, forget it. Put it out of your mind. It's done. It's over with. We are on, no matter how bad it is, an interception, a fumble, whatever, if missed field goal, that's over. We're not even thinking about that now. We're thinking about this play right now. And then when the game's over, you hear a lot of athletes go, yeah, we're going to enjoy this win for a few hours, and then it's on to next week. Yeah, everything is just very in the moment, and I just think that's great practice for life, you know?
100%. On the golf course, I have a 6-step rule.
Okay.
Good, bad, or ugly. For 6 steps after I struck my shot, you think about what happened. After the 6th step, you're on to your 7th. You are now moving forward, and you're worried about the next shot.
Dude, I am going to use that. Do you give golf lessons anymore? Because I know you're busy. We'll talk about the barbershop.
You know, I would love to get back into it. I totally am excited about doing it again.
Sure.
Once we get back to some normalcy with the life here and get the business 100% locked in. Grand opening coming later this month.
Yes, Back Nine Barbershop. We'll be talking about that in a second.
And I would love to. And I think that I'm able to connect to a lot of people. I'm a little bit more of a realist, but I also am not that golf pro that wants you there for 10 or 15 sessions. I want you there for 5. We're going to lock in. We're going to give you the drills. We're going to give you whatever knowledge you need to move on. Whether you're struggling, breaking 90, we'll get you there. Breaking 80, we'll get you there. Now, everything after 80, every 2 shots, call it about 10 hours working on your game. You want to shoot 78, better put 20 hours in. 76, another 20. It just gets harder and harder and harder.
You use 20 as a metric?
I mean, maybe 5 hours. Maybe 10. 10's a little excessive. But, you know, my father always used to make me go out there, and if I only played 9 holes in one day, he was like, oh, well, good job. Wasted a day. I'm like,
you know, it's funny because I find, you know, I'm doing these tournaments. We all play in these scramble tournaments and things like that. And we're getting off the couch, you know, we're drinking a cup of coffee, and then we're getting out there and swinging. And everybody's like, oh, what's going on with my drive? And it's like, listen, first of all, you know, that's like a guitar player who, you know, plays guitar 3 times a summer and is like, why can't I play Eruption by Van Halen? It's like, dude, you got to practice.
Yeah.
And then I've always noticed, like, in a tournament, when we get to, like, hole 15, I start dialing it in, and it's because I'm warmed up.
Yep.
Do you think, honestly, like, if you're going to compete, do you think you really need to get out there and practice for hours before the tournament starts? If it's if it was a real deal tournament?
My it was always at least an hour.
Because I never know what the threshold was of like, when are you going, now you're going to tire yourself out. Like, where is the line for you?
So I played, let me answer that question and then I'll go into a second segment of it. For me, it was an hour and 20 minutes. You stretch for 20 minutes, hit some golf balls, and then the last thing was 50 to 100 3-foot putts. Take some straight putts, 3 feet. You know you're going to make them. Get the putter feeling good. Get that hole looking like a basket early. Otherwise, you know, it's going to look like a pinhole on you.
Right.
So get the putter flowing. And the putter, honestly, I feel like that is, that is the most important club in the bag. People might say, well, the driver is.
No, drive for show, putt for dough, I was taught.
There you go, baby.
Yeah.
And your putter is almost guaranteed to be the one club that you use on every single hole.
Yeah.
Unless you're chipping in. So people sit there and they're like, well, Mike, how do I learn how to lag putt? How do I do this? How do I do that? You got to spend some time.
Sure.
And it's 150 yards in. If everybody was just to focus on that aspect, you will tremendously see a decline in your scores. Everyone's always like, oh, the driver. You don't even need driver.
No.
You know?
I got a buddy that puts his in the bag. He can't hit it. And he uses a, 4-iron or 5-wood, 3-wood, whatever he's comfortable with.
That's it. Get to your number. Play high percentage golf. Then my father used to hate that. He wants me ripping driver. I remember I went to Oswego Country Club, and I hit driver 3 times during the round, and I shot somewhere around par. But I didn't mind having 200 yards in on a par 4. I'm right in the center of the fairway. Got my 5 or 6-iron, 4-iron if it's uphill. And, I'm just letting it launch right at it, throwing lawn darts.
Yeah.
And your birdies are going to come. I don't need to sit there and go after, especially if the driver feels good and driver swing feels good, let it rip every single hole.
100%.
But if you have any doubts, high percentage golf.
Yeah, I think it's such great advice because I think there's a lot of people I golf with that feel like, well, this is where I'm supposed to use my driver. There's you don't have to use, if your driver's not working, I'm not saying never use it again. You should try to get it fixed because there are holes where you're going to need the most distance you can get. But you don't have to use your driver. Use your fucking 6-iron, whatever is best for each hole, and to put you up in the best position to win.
I mean, it's a little fun time here when I was at Northern Pines. I had one of the car kids working with me, and he was feeling some type of way. I think he just got off of playing a real good round, and he was like, "Yo, Mike, I'm ready for you. I'm ready for you."
Oh,
and I'm like, "Buddy, listen, I'm just gonna use my 7-iron. 7-iron. Let's go play the backside. 7-iron only.
No putter?
Shots, but no putter.
Is that your favorite club in the bag?
It is my favorite club.
Okay.
And I shot 38, and I beat him.
Bro, that's wild. That's fucking wild.
Well, at that point in time, and mind you, 2 national championships at Monroe Community College. Love them boys. Got to be part of that. And then moved on. After that, I really haven't worked on I call it cruise control. I do enough so it's not foreign to me right now.
Sure.
But I am your captain and crew golfer currently. And everyone's like, Mike, come on. You're not even a golfer anymore. And
bullshit.
Some people are like, you're an 80s golfer. I'm like, well, whatever. They love, poking the bear. I would love to get out there. I haven't. Mike, I can't tell you last time I played 20 rounds of 18 holes on my ball in a season.
By choice?
By choice. Not including captain and crews. Those were always fall ball stuff.
Well, let's talk about that. Why? What is it, just life in general? You're too busy? Or is there something, if you fell out of love with the game a little bit?
Well, let's go.
Or are we going to get back? Yeah.
We'll get into the journey now.
Let's get into the journey now. This is it's an amazing story, So, I mean, we've talked up to this point, obviously about golf in general, but so here you are, you're competing at a high level at a young age, and then some things kind of change for you.
I would probably say the time that I really started to disconnect myself from just being out in the spotlight was after my parents got divorced. And obviously there's percentages that lead in every direction from there. I was lost. Confused. I was 12, 13 years old. My mom and my sister moved out. I don't think I fully understood what was going on. I mean, old enough to understand, but that's where things really started to go.
How old were you at this point?
I was 13.
13, okay.
And then, like I said in the at Phoenix Rising podcast, started to get into smoking weed. And they say then experiment from there.
Yeah, the gateway drug.
The gateway. I mean, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
For those that don't agree with that, it is. And I ended up getting arrested on a high school field trip, going to see the Statue of Liberty in New York at 15. And that burned any sort of D1 offer that I had. And I didn't know that at the time. My golf coach calling me a prima donna. And I'm like, man, I'm the first one at practice. I'm the last one to leave. I'm a cocky son of a bitch at that time. Really was. And it's important to be confident, but not cocky.
There is a line.
Got to be humble.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that. Everybody was, hooking me up, giving me free golf, free clubs, free this, free that. I'm 13 years old signing autographs for people.
I mean, to be fair to yourself, anybody at that age experiencing what you were experiencing would also probably be cocky. I mean, we're not wired at that age to be able to handle that kind of pressure and, local fame. And of course you were cocky, I mean, if you were in your 20s, at that point you should know how to kind of balance that. So go easy on yourself with that.
Appreciate that.
I think that's a lot of pressure for a 13-year-old. And you have to also factor in your parents are just splitting up. Who are you going to? Your mind's all over the place at that point.
It really was. And then we just continued down the path, by senior year in high school. I think because of the arrest on the field trip, I was not eligible to play in states. So I lost a year of states. And then I just started to hate everybody.
Sure.
I disliked the school that I was at. It's everybody else's fault. No accountability over here. Again, being young. So we fast forward to Florida. And everything's going good there as well. I'm starting to meet some great contacts, playing with some great LPGA players. And the shark pool of everybody else down there.
Yeah.
Like, my gosh. And then, I came back up here, went to school because I'm like, what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
Let's further our education, which is
for you.
Hospitality management and, business management. And that's where, the DWEs started to happen.
Yeah.
Got the first one in college, year and a half later, got a second one. Year and a half after that, got the third one. And then that's where, I was still floating. I was still making way and still being motivated to try to continue life. I just keep getting knocked down and I'm like, all right, whatever, whatever, what else is new? Get to the golf course in Northern Pines, and that's when I got the second and third one. So I lost my license. I could no longer smoke weed anymore. And then I started my opioid addiction. Started with pills, it escalated into fentanyl, heroin. Probably 3 years with the pills, and then, once that got too expensive, we graduated on. But that fentanyl, and for anybody that is struggling with opioid addiction, I am standing living proof that you can beat it.
How did you get introduced to the opioids? Did you have an injury, or was it just kind of you're at a party, someone's like, hey, try this shit? I always wonder how someone goes right, like, because everyone kind of knows what can happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I always think, what goes through someone's mind when they know how dangerous this is, this kind of drug? How does it get introduced, and how do you make that decision? If you even remember.
Experimenting with with pills in high school was something that we did, but nothing of habitual status.
Right.
I had it was a friend of mine.
Don't say his name.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Who was it?
It was John Smith. He lives at 14.
John Doe. He introduced me to a gentleman that lived right up the road from me. And again, couldn't smoke weed anymore. Stays in your system too long. I'm on probation.
Sure.
And I'm like, man, how can we still get high and hide it?
Right.
Pills is what it was. Got it in out of my system. And I'm like, I remember telling him, I'm like, bro, I don't want to get addicted to these things. It's like day 3 or 4. And I'm like, I don't want to get addicted to these. So, don't answer my call for a couple days. Well, I didn't like that he didn't answer my call after I was told him not to. So I think I showed up at his house or something like that. And, again, like once my habit grew to like $200 or $300 a day, I don't know how I didn't lose everything in the process.
Wow.
I got lucky, dude. Like a lot of people lose their house, their life, their family. And I somehow kept it afloat, barely, but did. That's when I was like, dude, I can't afford this habit anymore. But the withdrawals, they stink.
Yeah.
It's like the flu on steroids. So I found somebody that I worked with once I left Northern Pines, and I was working at a box manufacturing plant. This gentleman sold fentanyl. And man, it's just like, it's everywhere. It really is.
For those listening or watching, and I'm going to sound stupid here, but I think it's important that I ask this question. We keep hearing about this fentanyl, and I'm a little confused on some of it because I know the problem is happening where a lot of drug dealers are cutting, these pills or whatever, these drugs with fentanyl because it's cheaper, and that, fentanyl is so dangerous it can kill you. But is there a sect of people that actually seek out fentanyl? Like you do fentanyl on its own, or is it always a part of something else?
So I would say when I was doing it, it would whatever cutting agent that they're using, because if you're just using straight fentanyl, like and you have no medical practice with it at all, it's dangerous.
Bro, I
1/10 of a gram.
I had to be transparent. I went to get a colonoscopy, and I'm laying there, and they're getting ready to put me out, and I hear her go, "All right, and now we're gonna start the fentanyl," and I was like, "The fentanyl," because I was like, all I've heard is how bad. I didn't understand that it actually is used in medical, with actual doctors.
Yeah,
and I was like, "What are they doing to me?"
In very small doses.
Yeah.
So what I was using was, you get the bags. They call them bundles or bricks or so. I get it all confused now, but it's to my knowledge, it was straight fentanyl. It was cut with something, whatever cutting agent that these people are using at the time. You don't know.
No.
You don't know. And at this point in time, I for anybody that uses heroin, or man, is that just the world's dirtiest drug?
It's dirty.
I didn't ever like that.
So you did try heroin.
I did try heroin. And it's what, from the opium plant or whatever, but like whatever they cut it with. I saw a documentary of these dudes on Netflix making it over in Colombia, and I'm like, holy shit, dude! It looks like dirt.
Really?
Straight dirt, and they're not using. It's like, why you even put this in your body? If people saw the way that it was produced, maybe then, I don't know. But nowadays, this is what people are doing. They're getting smarter. They're adapting. You can buy pill filler online, and a pill press, and people are taking the fentanyl, and cutting it with the pill filler, and making their own Roxy 30s, whatever brand pill that you can get it all. And this is how people are now getting a hot pill. They're dying.
It's like people getting those take home, like, brew your own beer kits, then bottling them and putting them in the stores, and you're just drinking whatever piss these people are making. You don't know how much of anything is in it.
And they can sit there and say, "Oh, we blend real good, this, that, and the third." They don't know.
No,
they don't. Nobody knows. So it's.
So you fast forward a little bit. So now you're dealing with this opioid addiction, and you've got some DWIs under your belt. You love golf. You're trying to find your way. You're back in school. What happens now? Where are we at?
We lost the job
At the boxing plant.
Yep, we're at the boxing plant. I am absolutely hating that job. For those, again, that work in the factory sector, God bless you.
Oh, my God. I've done it, too. It gives you a new respect for people that work in that.
Cow.
It's awful. It's awful.
Some of the worst working conditions I've ever. It's a sweatshop.
It.
I'm sorry for if anybody is a general manager of a plant, and I respect your business savviness, and you have goals. We all have goals.
We need them.
But I mean, the working conditions, the food. If you're going to mandate overtime on people, give them some good food to eat.
Healthy.
Give them some showers. Give them a place to take a nap.
Yeah.
They're putting in the work for you.
Yeah.
Those are the guys on the front lines. Take care of them boys and girls. But I hated it. I wanted out. And that's when I started to ask Sammy Catanzaro, the ex-owner of Big City Barbershop. I said, hey, man, can you teach me the ways? I'd love to learn how to cut hair. These guys are always at the golf course when I was at the golf course. Driving nice cars, wearing nice clothes, playing the golf course more than me. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong over here? And, I did that. I worked 9 to 12 and then 10 to 2 at the factory. I did that for about 8-10 months, and I had enough. Said, forget you. I actually got into some trouble with the fentanyl at the factory. I passed out over stacking boxes. And it's called a cookie sheet that slides out. Big metal apparatus that just slides in and out while you're stacking boxes. It came out. I passed out, and somebody grabbed me by my belt. Otherwise, I would have probably went head first.
Oh, my
10, 12 feet, landed on my neck, probably died. Wouldn't have known anything. They chalked it up as me being overworked, even though they all knew what was going on. And they put me on a 2-day leave, light duty, outside patient or outpatient rehab. And it was kind of like I didn't really learn anything. I'm like, really? Is this how this is dealt with? I've never been in this situation before.
Yeah.
And the plant manager and the GM also haven't dealt with this before. So my union rep nobody knew how to help me. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
They have all these procedures in place. Nobody can help a struggling drug addict.
That's why it's important for interviews like this to get the word out, because for some places and people, it's uncharted territory, but it's a part of life now. Opioid addiction, drugs, I mean, it's everywhere. And, Narcan being a huge thing now.
Mm-hmm.
The more we talk about it, the more people can put these kind of procedures in place for, God forbid, something like this happens.
Absolutely. And for those struggling with addiction of any kind, that doesn't make you a bad person.
It doesn't. But society has a way of making you feel like a bad person. Like you were talking about how you got caught. You're still, at your age, you still remember vividly when you got caught on that trip with weed and how it fucked so many things up for you. And you still feel bad about it, I bet, in some ways.
100%.
And you shouldn't, because it was a mistake. And I always talk about this. Society had a way of, when we were growing up, we're around the same age. If I had got caught drinking, while I was in high school, I'd get in trouble by my parents, but it was boys will be boys. That's what they do. If you got caught with weed, it was like you had crossed the border with heroin up your ass. I mean, you were treated like you need to stop hanging out with your friends. You need to go to drug counseling. You're going to be a loser. You're never going to have a career. And it's funny how it's flipped, and we've realized now through research and just wisdom about life, it's actually the other way around sometimes. I've never seen anyone die from weed, and I'm not promoting that people should go smoke weed, but we've found out that weed is so much safer, it has medicinal purposes, and alcohol's just poison. And it's led to so much trouble. And I tell people all the time, look, I ruined it for myself. I quit drinking October 1st, 2020. And it was the best decision I ever made. I do not fault people. I tell people, if you can drink and control it, do it for your whole life, because it's awesome. Let's be honest.
Yep.
I can't, So it just amazes me how, I'm glad you learned a lesson for it, but the fact that you're still, maybe mentally beating yourself up over a field trip where you got caught with weed, that sucks. It sucks.
It really does. I lost back to the weed. On the first DWI I got,
Mhm.
I could have pled to a UPM, not a DWI.
What's UPM?
Unlawful possession of marijuana.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Which would have, if I pled to that. Now, mind you, I'm in college. I need financial aid.
Yeah.
If you get a UPM, they cut you off from financial aid.
But not a DWI.
Not a DWI.
This is exactly
See
my point.
what I'm
That's
saying,
my
dude?
point.
So I'm like,
It's backwards, man.
I wanted to go to Coastal Carolina to finish my hospitality degree. And I'm like, holy cow, I have to make a decision.
You know, we're in a time now, and it's always been this way, but even more now with social media and cancel culture. I am a firm believer in holding people accountable. You know, we have to do that. But there is a line that we've crossed with canceling people and getting people fired where it's like we're teaching society that you're not allowed to make mistakes and learn from it. And I think that's really dangerous. You know, I think you can hold people accountable without ruining their lives over some mistakes that we've all made, you know? I mean, there's a million kids that had fucking weed on a field trip. So through all this, you now you're coming out of it. I know you kind of relapsed one time. There was a story you told on Sean's podcast that really hit me about when you kind of injured yourself. Do you mind talking about that? And I believe that was your last straw.
That was my last straw.
Your rock bottom.
My rock bottom. I met a girl. I got clean, or I started to get clean. And it was like a 2-year process of me mentally blasting myself saying, dude, this is garbage. What are you doing? Stop doing this. Okay, you know, we're going to lower the dose of what we take, which never happens. You can try it, but then the beast will always win. The devil always wins. So, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, you know, I got a girl in my life. She has some children. Things are changing.
You had a purpose.
And something happened where it was over the summer. I am clean for probably 30 or 60 days now. And she went to some party and I'm like, you know what, man, I'm lonely right now. Screw it. Let's go get high.
And that's all, by the way, that's all it takes sometimes for addicts is that in any moment, something can trigger you.
Yep.
Even something as simple as, oh, well, my girlfriend went to a party. You know, I'm going to get high. You know,
Yeah.
It just...
Anything that any addict that can make any sort of circumstance of that justifiable, boom, let's go.
Yeah.
So I did that. I called up the man, said, hey, bro, what's up? Yo, he's like, yo, I got some lean. And I'm like, oh, wait, can't get my hands on that. And I did. On the way home, I'm on my street, and it kind of like forks out like a wishing bone. And I remember that I passed out and almost took out my nails, my neighbor's mailbox. And I see this mailbox every single time to this day. And it's like, boom, flash, instant flashback. And I'm like, holy cow, dude. So I get to the house and I'm by myself. And, you know, all of a sudden I'm like, all right, whatever, do 2 bags real quick. That was what I used to do. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why not? Just get right back into it.
Used to do is the key.
Yep. Mike, next thing you know, dude, I'm naked in the middle of my floor. I don't know how many hours have passed. I have the worst pill hangover, opioid hangover ever, which just sounds like you have just been flashbanged in your head.
Is it worse than the worst alcohol hangover you ever had?
The worst.
Really?
Worst. Yes, bro.
Yo.
And there's nothing you can do. Everything is super sensitive anyways. I'm sitting there and I'm like, why does my eye hurt? And dude, what happened was I did those 2 bags and the corner of my dresser, one of my drawers was sticking out, the bottom one actually. And I passed out and the full weight of my body landed on the corner of the dresser. And that's when I kind of came to. I thought that something had stabbed my eye, like a pen or a pencil. Mm-hmm. I completely felt that when I was going to go up, something had stabbed me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. And I'm like, okay, why is this so excruciating? Went to go look in the mirror, dude, and I looked like a tiger had just swiped me across the face.
No.
Right through the eye, everything.
And, you know, again, I've heard stories from other friends and people that are addicts that one of the more, you know, people relapse. It happens all the time, especially when you begin any sort of program. You know, I've heard it's very, very easy for people to relapse. And But the real dangerous part about it is what you said earlier, which is you did what you used to do. But what people don't realize is even after 30 days, 60 days, your body doesn't have that tolerance. So that's why a lot of people correct me if I'm wrong. That's why a lot of people have this happen or die because they're doing what they normally used to do, the same amount. They can't handle it.
And as crazy as that sounds, for those that are even deeper into the fentanyl, doing 10 bags at a time, I couldn't even fathom.
That's insane to me.
I'm doing 2, and that happened. They're like, yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know. Just do a whole bundle real quick and we'll call it a day. I'm like, holy shit.
Yep.
And that's a whole different level. And I just wish that, after that, dude, I woke up and I grabbed I probably had 45 bags still, flushed them down the toilet.
Good for you.
Finally,
that is so hard.
First and only time I've ever done that.
But see, that's the moment it's going to work. Because this is what I tell people. When I quit drinking, I called my buddy. He had quit drinking. I took the half a handle of vodka I had left and I dumped it. I have a video of it on my phone. And before that moment, the thought of ever doing that, but that's how I knew I'm serious.
Yep.
And that's why you hear people say the only true way to really, not always, but mostly the only true way that you're going to get off whatever you're addicted to is when you're ready. Not when the courts are ready, not when your friends are ready. It is when you are like, I've had enough. And you had enough at that moment for you to flush those bags down.
I had enough. I realized, my mom would tell me things and I'm like, what does she know? My father and Sammy were the only 2 people that no matter what happened, they knew that somehow I was going to come out of this. There's no timetable for it. Again, probably 4 years of addicted to fentanyl, 2 of which was trying to get off of it.
I was going to ask you, because your dad seemed to play a big role in your life with golf and as a mentor. And remember, you were talking about the pre-shot routine that he would make you do, or he ask you a question. Was he along your side through this, or had you separated yourself from him because of the addiction? Did he help in any way, or was he angry? What was your relationship like with him through that?
So I'll tell you what he wasn't. He was not an enabler.
That's huge.
Many parents out there are huge enablers.
Because they love their kids and
I lost one best friend because of his parents enabling, and another best friend finally, he also beat the opioids finally now, but I think he had to do the shot.
Yeah.
And how you have to get sober.
Absolutely.
Just do it.
There's no right or wrong way. Everybody's got a different journey. Like whatever you need to do it, do it.
And my dad he lived with me. He saw how high I was day in and day out. He used to call me the pinball wizard because I'd be in the bathroom. And then next thing you know, I'm passed out, falling into the wall, falling into the shower, the toilet, this and that. And I mean, it's funny to go back and laugh on these moments now.
Sure.
And after I while I was on probation, there was another time that I passed out. I'm redoing the floors of my house, dude. I was putting in tile, and I just got caught driving without a license, and I just did not care. One time was on a Honda Grom. I was test driving it to buy it.
Jesus Christ.
So literally, I'm test driving the Honda Grom. I get pulled over. Dude, you can't make this stuff up. And it's just like, Mikey, you just sometimes have some horrible luck. Well, I also make some really dumb decisions, too.
Well, you know what? That I have always said, because, again, I had an alcohol problem. And I'm a good person. You're a good person. You hear these stories about people doing that kind of stuff. This guy was test driving a vehicle. He drove it through the window of a fucking, dealership. Anything crazy, and you think, man, how do people do that? I realized when I was in the thick of my alcohol problem, or I guess addiction, at any moment, like literally at any moment, your life can change over one thing because you put yourself in situations that you normally wouldn't put yourself in if you were sober at the moment. Like for example, even little things like, you wouldn't be walking home at 2 a.m. If you weren't out drinking. So you're obviously, when you're walking home at 2 a.m, there's things that you can get involved in. I remember when I quit drinking, one of the things I was most thankful for was that, like, I'm no longer in these situations where at any moment, like, something crazy can happen. You know what I mean? Like, you're always 1 degree away, separation away from something fucking nuts.
And, you know, I think alcohol is the worst of all of them.
I agree.
It opens you up to really poor decision making. And you're right. Fuck it. Let's just go do this and
Just
that.
anything.
You know what I mean?
You're like, you're at the casino. Next thing you know, you wake up, you drove fucking to Cleveland, and you know what I mean? And it's like, what did I just do? Like,
with no recollection.
With no recollection, and it gets scary because sometimes you sit there and you go, I don't know if I trust it's not even like the drug or the people I'm with. I don't trust myself on my decision making anymore.
I mean, you go, the whole drinking and driving thing it's serious, right? Yeah. Nobody should be drinking and driving. Nobody. But shame on government officials, the judicial system. Shame on you for not implementing stronger penalties on somebody's first one.
Really? That's an interesting take. I like that.
If they had interlock devices automatically installed after your first one, you can get slapped on the wrist. Slap them monetarily on the wrist.
Yeah.
Because if you get 3, everything's times 3. Don't wait. But they realize how much revenue that they make off of these DWIs. I think that it is now viewed as a money-making system, and people are getting away from helping people get back to their normal way of life.
Yeah.
That is somebody needs to stand.
There needs to be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Why am I blanking out? Basically, you've got to judge every situation differently. Every situation, you can't blanket something. You know, everybody's got a different reason for what they're doing. Like, even in a DWI situation, well, what are they struggling? Do they have any prior? You can't treat everybody across the board the same. So I think it's important that you look at these people as humans more than just as someone who's breaking the law. You know, everyone's got a story. You know, so you come out of this addiction, because I could talk to you all day. We've been going long because I'm just fascinated by this story. What happens now? We see the light of day. Back Nine Barbershop. How do you get here from there?
So I just kept my head down and just kept moving forward, trusting the process. Easy statement to say, right? Get in a barbershop, start flicking. That's what Samuel always used to say. Hang in and hold on. You know, it's going to be a bumpy ride. I am now barbering for going on my 6th year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been sober for 3 years.
Yes.
Hey.
My man.
And, you know, me and one of my business partners, probably earlier this year, were like, you know, is there really a good exit from one of these things? It's probably not. Nobody likes to see anybody leave. But you know what? We stayed true to ourselves, and we wanted personal growth and for us to do better. So we decided that opening up Back Nine Barbershop was that direction to take.
It's awesome.
It really is. And in only 3 years, 1,000 days ago, I almost lost everything.
You know, one of my favorite sayings that I learned in therapy was in relation to drugs or drinking is you can give up everything for one thing, or you can give up one thing for everything. And it really is that way.
There's no truth.
My kids get all of me. I mean, I have it all. You know, I gave it up, and so did you. And you're amazing, man. I mean, your story is so inspiring. And I'll tell you, if anyone's listening or watching that is struggling in any sort of way, go get a haircut with Mike, because you might get some help out of it. You know, people struggling coming to you, you know, because I've learned going to my barber, dude, it's like a therapy session. We talk, we laugh, we crack jokes, we talk football. We
are part therapist.
You really are.
Women, I hate to label women men, but women typically go to the spa.
Yeah, no.
The nail salon.
Sure.
Us gents, we go to our barbershop. That's our safe haven.
Hell yeah.
We talk about everything under the sun. And, you know, if I can give out any motivational quotes or help anybody in the process who is struggling, you know, just let yourself be known that you can do it. You can do it.
You're living proof, dude.
I am living proof.
And I'm so inspired by you, and I love you for it. I just love how it all of this bullshit that happened, it all funneled down into this Back Nine Barbershop, which combines not only the two things that you love, cutting hair, three things, helping people, and golf.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also the two things your parents did for a career. It's just, it's very storybook, man. And I'm so happy for you.
I could have never even have thought this.
Of course not. It's hard to see it. Now, when you quit, did you do cold turkey? Did you do rehab last time?
I did cold turkey.
You did cold turkey.
I
did too.
It's
like you don't recommend it to people if you can. I know.
So for anybody that's listening that is struggling with opioid addiction, that is recommendedly medically not the way to go. But I wanted to remember how hard it was to get sober. Like, it was easy to get high. It should be hard to get sober.
Sure.
And the thing about it is they'll slide you to Suboxone or methadone.
Yeah.
But what you're not doing is going through the withdrawals.
Right.
And, they will keep you now locked into Suboxone.
Yeah.
Which, look at the lawsuits, people losing teeth. Or they'll keep you locked in a methadone, which you still can abuse.
Sure.
And they don't taper you off fast enough. So if anybody's going to go that route, make sure that you have a written out system of, okay, we're going to start at 6 milligrams of Suboxone, and then, month one, we're taking a third off of it, and slowly taper your way down, because the doctors are probably not going to do it. They're just going to give you, oh, you've been good. You haven't had any dirty piss tests? Okay, cool. We'll keep you on for 3, 4, 5 years. Exactly. And then when you finally want to get off Suboxone, holy hell, is those withdrawals are even worse.
Yeah.
So the withdrawals they're imminent. They're going to happen. Face it. Get yourself a good circle, a good support system, and you can beat it.
Dude, you're the man. Mike Catalano, Back Nine Barbershop, golfer extraordinaire. Give me the plugs before we go. Where can we find Back Nine Barbershop? How do we contact you? The whole thing.
So, you can go to back9barbershop.com.
Mm-hmm.
Our link will take you right to our Booksy booking app. We are open Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 6, Saturday, 7 to 2. For right now, we are closed Sunday, Mondays. We are at the 31 Center across from Spira's off 31. We are 2 doors to the left of Kenzie, 6257 Route 31. We would love to have anybody come in there. We are open to walk-ins. We are open to give you our hospitality. Whatever. Back Nine welcomes y'all in.
That's amazing. And for those of you struggling with addiction, and need any sort of help, contact the show. We can put you in touch with Mike, or we have other resources to get you help. Mike Catalano is living proof that you can go through the depths of hell and come out on top. And I'm honored to sit here with you and hear your story, and I appreciate you sharing it with everybody, man.
Mike, thanks for having me on, and I'm glad that I'm able to slowly start to pay it forward.
The man. Mike Catalano, Back Nine Barbershop. One of my favorite interviews. I've got goosebumps, to be honest with you. We will see you tomorrow. Matt will be back from his vacation at Enchanted Forest. I'm kidding. He didn't go there. But we love it there. Yeah, Matt will be back tomorrow. Good News York, sponsored by Ads on the Go. GetAdsOnTheGo.com. See you tomorrow.